really wants with their hyper-scaling AD carry comp.
And it's locked in for them. Provides them a little bit more, not so much of the skirmish potential that Skarner can pick up, so we'll still see RNG be a little bit more favored in that, depending on what they pick up in the mid lane as well. But does have unique gank paths, can gank from a distance. And one thing we haven't touched on is the major tanks for EDG have not been banned out of this match. Both Sion as well as Galio are available. RNG could round out their first few picks with massive tanks to the top side of the map.
Yeah, but the interesting thing is none of their front lines actually have gap closers currently, so it doesn't work very well with a Galio. The only thing I could expect is if they really want Galio, they would need to pick another Alistar just to make that composition work.
But could this be a force from EDG? You know, you leave the two tanks up, make sure that the junglers are tank as well by banning out all of Karsa's champions, and then making sure that RNG don't have enough damage. They're not going to go towards the Galio as their final pick, however, as they lock in Tahm Kench as their supporting choice.
This is really intelligent from RNG. They move away from the Galio. They realize they don't have a cannonball composition to go with it, so they instead go with the Tahm Kench. This does free up a lot of like hyper carry space, and it's a good counter into the Zac.
Also means that EDG can now go and ban out multiple champions against Uzi's champion pool. He can go back into something else that's not so hyperscaling like a Varus or a Kog'Maw and still play effect. They take away Galio and Ryze. Uzi locks in Varus as his ADK, whereas EDG lock in Braum as their support.
Okay, so they need some mid lane priority here. RNG's composition is all about forcing the mid game. They're already forcing down a lot of QSSs coming from EDG, so that will further their mid game damage spike.
Now that's a nice 5-on-5 snowball comp coming up from RNG. We'll have to see if that's actually going to be a mid lane Vladimir. You know, we have seen Sions flexed into the mid lane.
Oh, that is true.
Globally. Potentially could happen. EDG still have their final pick. And it's going to be the top lane pick for Ray. We know he can play tanks. We know he can play champions like the Riven, which we was put on last match. And we're going to get another game of Ray picking up Riven.
So I'm actually less happy about the Riven this time around. I would have much preferred another Cho'Gath. I think Cho'Gath just rounds out the composition better. You have your great front line. But Riven, for me, it's kind of an unnecessary risk you're taking. Riven can have bad lanes. And if she has a bad lane, she doesn't get into the game at all.
So waiting to see if this is actually going to be a Sion top side of the map going up lane matchup.
Yeah, the next big point of contention for RNG is really going to be into that blue buff. They have the timers down. They see Haro now, but can Zatai get away?
Let's see if he can. Haro does get a gank going through, but W used nice and early by Zatai. Slowed down by the rubber hands. Array actually flashes forward for this one. Zatai used the heal nice and early. Still has flash available. Haro has his as well. Riven jumps over the wall. That's going to be a kill picked up, and it's first blood to Ray.
Great pacing there from Ray. Saves his Q3 to go over the wall and snags up the first kill. Now, if you look at the laning positions, it's actually horrible for Zatai. If they manage to freeze, it's going to change the lane completely. But actually, I'm sorry, I guess they did manage to hit the tower.
Zatai was not happy about that either. You could see on his player cam after he died, took off his jacket. He wants revenge, but here was that play again. EDG get a successful gank here. They were really aggressive with how they got it.
Just watch Ray with his mechanics right there. Saves the Q3 to go.
Nice draft that's come out from RNG. Their game plan's working out, but they're going for a gank against Xiaohu, locking him down underneath the turret. Takes 3 turret shots for this. Is able to use his ultimate to knock back Scout. Throws out the Sand Soldiers. Almost kills Azir as well. Corrupting Potion was ticking. And Xiaohu says, you know what, I can fight both of you. It's fine.
This is crazy. We thought the Zatai swapping was going to be some cheese from the top lane, but no. Xiaohu shows his lead. Xiaohu is just going to shove, and you have Skarner right by his side.
Means that iBoy as well as Mako stuck underneath their turret. Uzi gets free damage there. Haro can't provide any assistance. Instead, goes for a gank in the mid lane. Does get the lockdown to Xiaohu. Brings it back towards the turret. Ray is here as well. They deliver Sion underneath, but he's not taking turret damage just yet. Finally will. And EDG break apart this tank in the mid lane.
That's good use of priority from the top lane. Moving Ray down to assist with the kill. And that chain CC was also very good.
But RNG tried to use this to go towards the bottom side of the map. Karsa can't get a gank onto iBoy or Mako, but frees up Uzi to take down the first turret of the spell. He's not running on Steel Spellbook like we see SLFlem do. He has Predator. So it's on a much longer cooldown. Instead, they look to lock down Mako. There's the train conductor going into the mid lane. Mako's going to die instantly. Haro does jump back in, but he doesn't have ultimate available. Ming will save Varus for now. Uzi's coming back in. Ray finally joins the fight. Jumps back in, flashes in, but exhausted instantly. Taking so much damage. Zatai now with the big flank into the back lines. Scout's going to fall. Only iBoy and Scout left alive. RNG get a big team fight.
Great driving there from Xiaohu. Point blank runs into Mako and blows him up instantly. Also, very good play from Ming right there. The exhaust was on point. The Devourer was on point. Ray couldn't do anything going in.
RNG moves straight towards Baron. No smite available for EDG. Haro is way too long of a death timer for him to get back into this. iBoy's farming mid lane. Scout as well as Mako just got back from base. They get a team fight. They get a Baron. They've opened up the mid game.
And it's such a helpless feeling from EDG Scout right there. So Xiaohu comes in, instantly goes on the engage once he's in vision range. Haro tries to jump in. He does get UZI, but look at Ming, able to pick up UZI with the Devourer, and then Ray comes in with the flash, instantly exhaust. So much good play from Ming.
Look, we can talk about the top side of the map all we want and how that's led to the success for RNG in these games, but they are definitely all eyes on Uzi. They want to protect their AD carry, the star, the veteran of the league, and they do so fantastically in the first team fight of the game.
And they just get caught out in the middle of nowhere. There's not really a lot of reason for EDG to be sitting in
here. Has his banner of command, but there are still 9 minion dematerializers picked up by EDG. Zed teleporting here, trying to take down the inhibitor. Karsa's taking damage from the turret, forced to back out. Chains of corruption are spreading. Xiaohu jumps in, is going to be able to look to take down bottom lane inhibitor turret. Falls nice and easy, and they take the objective and run away.
I love that positioning from RNG right there. The Chains of Corruption is able to lock down everyone from the left side. And Ray right there notices that no one's going to follow him, even if he had a
mate since bringing Uzi back into the team. Making their way towards the bottom lane inhibitor turret. Haro threatening for initiation behind the small pillar in the base. Just chipping away at that inhibitor. Slowly taking their time because once again, Xiaohu's been able to move another minion wave into the base. Here goes Scout, looking to try and jump in, takes a lot of damage, forced to back out. iBoy, Hemo playing is ticking. Is it enough to kill him? Tatai gets the kill. Xiaohu drives into the base. They might have done it right here, Clement. EDG are going to go get wiped. That's almost an ace picked up by RNG.
Xiaohu with the road rage coming in, running over 2 of EDG's carries with 1 play.
That's going to be it. They might have had flashbacks in the last match, Clement. But RNG, they're going to try and drive this home. It's up to Ray to try and defend. It's looking like it's not going to be enough. Uzi, he wants that crowd, and taking down EDG is one of the first steps they can take. They send a message to the rest of the LPL. We're back, and we're coming for the championship. They're going to be able to take down EDG 2-1 in this series.
Revenge for RNG. They were down. They were reverse swept by EDG in the previous playoffs, but able to claw their way back. 2-1 RNG.
Decisive finish as well. No more waiting for the next Baron. Let's go for Ola Drake. Let's sit back and spend our gold. They end it right there. They fight EDG where EDG is strong.
And just look at the play they did. That was so well set up. Karsa went straight in, and Zatai was waiting on the flank. They knew that iBoy would have to walk in to save his teammate, and Zatai got a perfect rotation off on iBoy.
Smiles across the entire team from RNG, especially for Uzi there. Obviously checking out his damage to see how well he did in that match, but it was good draft. Great strategy coming out from RNG in all the matches played. Let's not talk about the controversy a little bit too much, a bit too controversial, but still, well executed in game number 2. Didn't get as great as a lead as game 1, but showed that they don't need that massive lead. They don't need the snowball. The strategy was sound.
Yeah, and it just goes to show how important it is for that mid lane. Like every game someone has mid lane party, they won.
And a well-deserved bow there from RNG. This is going to be the only time they face off against long-time rivals of EDG during the regular season. Now it's going to come down to, will these teams meet during the playoffs? When will they meet during the playoffs if they do? And are we going to get a rematch of last split if they both make it to the finals?
I would like to welcome RNG back into the top teams in the LPL. They were sitting at 4th place in their own conference. They had that 4-game losing streak.